Hey everyone, welcome to Heavy Metal Guns and Outdoors. Today we have a quite unique little project going on. A friend of mine brought me this stock. This is from a Marlin 60 22, and we're going to strip it and refinish it, make it look nice. But specifically, what he wants me to do is engrave a rebel flag right here. And then on the other side, he wants me to put Daddy's Girl. Then up here on the forearm, I'm going to put her name. So let's start with the easy stuff first. Let's do the lettering over here and see how well we can get that taken care of. And I chose to do all my engraving before I do the refinishing. That way if I miss, make a scratch or something like that, it's no big deal because we're going to go over it, sand it down, and redo it anyway. Now we'll grab our Sharpie, and I'm just going to do some freehand here. Alright, not too bad. I think that'll look pretty good once we get her engraved out. And like I say, we're going to put her name up here. Her name is Amber. Put it right here on the forestop. And there we go. And what I'm going to use to do this with, just my basic Dremel. I have one of the little round stones in here. I think it'll work out just fine. Let's get this thing cranked up. Do this little bit of engraving. Alright, we got that part of her done. Didn't turn out too bad at all. Yeah, stuff like this, I really like doing freehand. Just looks more personal, and to me it looks nice. Alright, let's go ahead and go up here, and we'll do her name. And there we go on that. I think that's going to turn out pretty good. Let's go ahead and flip her over. Start on a rebel flag since we've already done the easy part. Alright, of course, y'all know what a rebel flag looks like. Confederate flag, whatever you want to call it. Just don't get offended. Trying to make up my mind whether I want to do a large like this here or shrink it down a little bit. I think I would like it more to fit in this area. So I think we'll make it just a little smaller than this pattern type that we have right here. Let's grab a ruler. Go ahead and get her measured out. Well, I think a 3x5 would work well. Of course, on this flag, there's 5. See if I can hold it still. we're going to do our X pieces at exactly 2. So what we'll do, measure down 1, measure over 1. Well, there, I do believe. Alright, so what we'll do, we'll start out with the Dremel. Just come across here and get our outer square. And do each V section here. Then, we're going to have to come up with a way to do our stars. I think that's going to be the most difficult part. But we'll figure it out, and there's 13 stars in all, but I think we can do it. Well, we're using our same little round bit that we were using for the lettering. See if we can just keep a pretty straight line here. There we go. Got our outline. We got our X in there. I think it looks pretty good. Now, let me see what I can come up with as far as getting these stars looking right on this thing. As far as stars go, the difficult part is getting all of them exactly the same. Of course, to work with the Dremel, you know, will be a shade of inconsistency because my hand's not perfect. But getting them stars on there to begin with. So here's a plan I come up with. We took a bolt and ground down the surface flat, cut out a star and glued it to it. And what I'm going to do is basically grind this all out, and we're going to make us a stamp. Because I'm sure this is not the last flag that I'll put on something, and having a stamp is just really handy and quick. So let's head over here to the grinder and get a little bit off of there. Then we'll take it, chuck it up in the vise, and finish it up with the glue. That's all we're going to get with the big grinder. We're just going to have to do a lot with the Dremel. So let's head over to the vise. Alright, I just grabbed one of the stones. Little ones that you just screw on. And we're going to see how it'll work out for us. That's about all I can do with that big stone. Get the camera correct here. As you can see, I got these 3 points here pretty good. I got to get this V groove up in here. So what I grabbed was one of the little cutoff blades. And I think that will work out well for that. And then I grabbed a smaller stone to do the dress up with. Well, what do y'all think? Not a bad looking star. Let's grab us a little chunk of wood here and pop it with a hammer and see what kind of imprint it leaves. Oh, look at that. Made a great little star. And hopefully y'all can see that okay. It'll go colored in, you can see it a little bit better. Well, I think we got that problem solved. Let's go ahead and get all of this lined up. Get our 13 stars, of which on the rebel flag is very easy, y'all. Just pop your one in the middle and go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, evenly spaced. And you've done it correctly. All right, I got the star in the center. Let's see what she'll do on this wood. Tell you what, that wood's a lot harder than that pine 2x4, that's for sure. That barely made a dent in that thing. But I think it's good enough that we can take our Dremel and trace around it and have us a good star pattern going on there. Let's get the rest of them. We've got them all stamped. Tried to get them as straight and even as I could. Now, see how steady of a hand I've got this morning. Put the very fine bit in my Dremel. We'll see how it looks. We may have to go to this one here. I'm just not sure yet. Let's start out with the small one and see what we can do today. Well, with our little bit, we've got all of them outlined. Held my hand fairly steady. They ain't the most perfect stars, but they don't look too bad. Now what we're going to do, I grabbed that other bit that was just a shade bigger, and you can tell by the grooves in it, a little more aggressive. We're going to go in here and clean out all of our centers and see how that looks. Got all of them cleaned out. And in my opinion, turned out pretty good. Now we may have to go in here and do a little bit more once we sand down the stock and all. But I'm going to try not to take too much off. I just want to get this finish off of there and then decide how we're going to refinish it and what we're going to use. But let's go ahead and get this thing stripped down and see where we're at. We got the finish stripped off of this. And yeah, I did use an unconventional method. Actually, since I wanted this to have a natural finish whenever we got done, I just took it over to the sandblaster and sandblasted it. It took all the old finish off, and it wasn't that hard of a job. Now what I'm going to do is just take some Scotch-Brite and go over this thing and rub her down real good. Then we'll clean it up and go on to our next step. All right, guys, got to rub down with the Scotch-Brite. Now what I want to do, I want to get as much natural beauty out of this wood as I can. So what I'm going to do is take I use this orange cleaner. And we're going to clean the fire out of this thing. Grab me a new piece of Scotch-Brite. Now this will get everything off of it. We've got it good and cleaned up. Seeing as it's a little cool out today, I just took the heat gun and run over it and dried everything up. Start on the easy stuff first. We'll get our name done, and I'm just going to use fingernail polish for the names. Got some pink here. We can get that to lay down in there like we want. We got a color laid in. The amber and the daddy's girl. And I took the heat gun and just went over it lightly. Like I say, it is cool out here today. We're going to grab some non-acetone nail polish remover. It's just a little on a rag. And just very lightly. We got them lettered in very well. Now, when we get through with the flag on the other side, we will be able to take in some more orange cleaner and washing this back down and rinsing it. I don't know if the camera's showing it up, but that non-acetone remover did put a little discoloration on the wood. So I think if we clean that back off with our orange, that should take care of that. Now for the flag. We're going to be doing quite different over here. First thing to do is get the stars. Everything else shouldn't be that hard at all. I have some white fingernail polish here. See which one's which. That's got the big tip on it. Okay, this one has y'all can see a little tip on it. So, without spilling, that's the one we're going to use to get our stars painted in. Yeah, it's going to take a while to do these stars. Oh, we got our stars outlined. Didn't turn out too bad. Now we'll take our white fingernail polish and we got to run down our V channels here. Then the inside gets the blue and the outside gets the red. Alright, I'm just going to continue on with this little brush. I believe that it will do a better job without getting any excess on anything. Oh yeah, little brush does a good job. It lays it down in there really well. Got our lines all whited in there. Now traditionally, the colors just come to the edge and that's it. But on this particular project, just because I think it'll make it look better, I'm going to go ahead and do a white outline on this. Then we'll go back in and do our color. say, I think it just make this particular piece look better by doing it that way. There we go. Yeah, that outer white border just makes it pop a little bit more. Alright, now what we're going to do, and when I said what we're going to do on different on this, is when this white dries, it's not going to be a really white, bright white. It's should be on the flat side, I'm hoping, because I want this flag to look just a little on the each side. So what I'm going to do is just take a red and a blue Sharpie to color in the rest of this. Because once we get this thing all washed and cleaned up again, we'll be going over it with some clear. I'm going to use like a semi-gloss clear. I don't want a lot of shine on this. But let me grab the heat gun and help this dry a little bit. And once I get that done, we'll get the coloring in. Well, we got everything dry. I've done took it outside, washed it again, and took the heat gun, got it all dried back off. So now we're down to not much at all. So next we're going to take our blue marker and just go to coloring in. Remember, stay inside the lines. Alright, well, I went ahead with my Sharpie. Got that all colored in. Y'all see Annie in the background? Yeah, that's my good helper right there. Say hi, Annie. And if I don't say so myself, turned out pretty good. I went ahead and hung it up here. I wanted to get my clear on it. And you see it did make the wood just a shade darker than what it was. But all in all, I think it turned out well. Here's what I used. Used some Krylon Sealer Clear. And I'm just going to let this hang here a while. Like I say, it's probably mid-50s out here, but overcast, so there ain't no sun. And I'm just going to let this naturally dry. There you go. We got that stock all done. Hope my buddy and his daughter liked the engraving work that I put in on it. I think it turned out pretty cool. Well, everyone, thanks for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it and hope you learned a little something. If you would, leave me any comments that you have. And of course, questions and suggestions are always welcome. And if you're able, please, go visit our Patreon page and show some support there. And if you would, hit that like and subscribe button. Thank y'all, and I hope y'all have a fantastic day.